Advice for whistleblowers. I'm George Valentine, a Scotsman from Rotherham, who for over 40 years has been a carer and campaigner for the disabled and elderly. I run my website, Nationwide Carers, advising people of their rights. I'm proud to be an active NHS Foundation Trust Governor. I will show you when the authorities fail to support your whistleblowing complaint, the only sure way to combat serious abuse, as shown by the panorama programmes, is by the use of a small hidden camera, selective CCTV, secret filming and mobile phone cameras, used strictly to detect abuse. They did it, so can you. Few, if any, authorities will use selective CCTV to film abuse, so detection results are poor and the abuse continues. Camera evidence will stand up in a court of law. This DVD is a helpline for all whistleblowers who witness serious malpractice in the workplace. If managers fail to do anything about your original complaint and the serious abuse continues, I advise you to provide your own proof. Use CCTV, secret filming that could lead to a conviction. This is the way forward. Then you can produce your evidence without fear of bullying, persecution, being gagged, sacked, or your silence being bought off. Without fear of being victimised by the NHS or any private employer. Everyone who witnesses or suffers from serious abuse should watch this video. It will help family carers, consultants, doctors, nurses and carers to get justice. Prevent yourself from being guilty by association by not reporting the abuse. You will have the proof of the abuse the managers failed to get. Because little action is taken, staff have to resort to producing the abuse on film to detect the crime. Cutting abuse will help NHS trusts, private and council-owned homes, the Care Quality Commission, and most of all the patients who are being abused. The only people who will not benefit are those who perform the abuse. It could save the taxpayers millions in legal fees and administrative costs. The present system in place for whistleblowers in many cases just goes through the motions and is not good enough. It does not give the abused the protection they deserve, and in some cases the system in place is not fit for purpose. This video will guide you how to collate the evidence legally. I am willing to advise any staff member or family carer who has witnessed or suspects abuse. The patient's safety is paramount. Most staff that witness abuse have a fear of reporting it. They have a fear of being victimised by the managers, overlooked for promotion, and often live in fear of losing their jobs. By law, whistleblowers should be supported. Many are not. Those managers who don't use their powers to catch the abused are helping the abusers. They are the enemy of the abused and those wishing to report abuse. They are giving the profession a bad name. Use the technology available and follow my guidelines. I can only advise you. The final decision will be yours, but you will see all the options made available to you. If managers bully, threaten or victimise you in any way for whistleblowing, this is unlawful. Tape their conversation, ask them to submit what they say in writing or by emailing you. Don't accept verbal instruction or threats to put you off. Abuse is a serious crime. The NHS Adult Services and all private council homes are bound by law to provide a duty of care, looking after the health and well-being of all patients in their care. Legally, shortage of staff and lack of money is no excuse. Very few whistleblowers provide the proof required when making a complaint. Now you can. Producing evidence will drastically cut the time taken to get to court. Some take up to 6 years. I was informed about the terrible Bristol serious abuse case. I was asked what I would do. I would send my complaint to the managers with a copy to the chief executive with times and dates of the abuse. Ask them to investigate and file my complaint. If the bosses find no evidence and the abuse continues, I put a hidden camera in their room, or if it happens in the main area, film the abuse with CCTV or small phoned camera. Then complain again to the managers with a copy to the CQC stating that you have the evidence of abuse. You could consider informing Panorama with details of the terrible abuse to the disabled adults costing £3,500 a week each. This they did. Panorama got carer to work in the care home, filmed the abuse, convictions quickly followed, 6 people were jailed. This is the way forward. Your complaint would be just as quick because you would have the evidence. This should have been done by the managers and the Care Quality Commission, but it was not. Over 90% of whistleblowing complaints of serious abuse are genuine. Most convictions of abuse are by film evidence. So if you witness serious abuse, report it to the authorities with a copy to the chief executive asking them to investigate your complaint. Put your complaint on file so you can't be guilty by association. If the managers say they can find no proof and they do nothing and the abuse continues, either put a hidden camera in their bedroom, this has been very successful, or if it happens in the main area, film the abuse, capture footage of the abuse, use selective CCTV. This is easy to do undetected. This evidence will stand up in a court of law. Keep copies of evidence, dates and times. The authorities should have done this and not you. This time notify the managers again and the Care Quality Commission that you have got the evidence of abuse and ask them again to investigate. They now must act. If the abuse is serious enough, the managers and the CQC will inform the police and swift action will follow. Nobody is above the law. Produce the evidence, then the police will prosecute. CCTV, secret filming can prove people innocent as well as guilty. Without filming proof, a conviction rarely happens. Without Panorama, with their evidence, nothing would probably have been done. With the proof you produce, action will be swift. If managers verbally abuse you for whistleblowing, don't accept this. Ask for it in writing or email. Don't be intimidated or bullied. The law is on your side. You could tape their bullying if it continues. Don't have a fear of whistleblowing. The law is on your side. Photographic evidence is the key to its success. Without it, nothing often happens. Managers get away with creating fear and bullying because they are rarely challenged. Prove them doing it and their jobs could be on the line. Relatives with proof of abuse could seek legal advice. We shouldn't need Panorama to prove it. I will put this video on the internet on YouTube under Advice for Whistleblowing and on my website Nationwide Carers. Tell your colleagues who witness abuse to look at this DVD. Help stamp out abuse. The NHS squandered £10 million of our money wrongfully hounding and sacking a consultant cardiologist for 13 years for exposing avoidable deaths of patients. The courts proved him right. He was targeted by hospital managers because this courageous man decided to blow the whistle on dangerous practices. The Health Secretary is now investigating this case. Many more staff are wrongly in the same position. Why are those managers still in a job? They are a danger to patients, and there's no room in the NHS and private homes for managers who cover up unnecessary deaths to patients. I hope this video will encourage staff to rid this country of the small amount of abusers that are giving the majority of hard-working staff a bad name. We must bring to book these managers that victimise whistleblowers. Film the abuse and prove them wrong. Staff must be vigilant and monitor how the managers treat their complaint. They should be supported by law. Often they are not. I am prepared to meet with the media and any legal or any NHS chief executive, director or whistleblowing manager who disagrees with this video. I believe they could be condoning abuse. They're just reporting a crime that is a criminal offence. I have over 4 hours of documented paperwork on whistleblowing condensed into this 15-minute video. The DVD protects and encourages whistleblowers, encourages all managers to legally use selective CCTV to combat abuse. Hope to stop trusts paying off millions to silence whistleblowers. Stop authorities gagging whistleblowers. Tell abusers they will be caught. Put pressure on NHS trusts as well as the CQC to support the use of selective CCTV. Without it, they are rarely caught. Encourage staff to use camera evidence to protect their patients when the management won't act. Advise whistleblowers what to do when senior managers and the CQC don't act to stop abuse. Professor Sir Mike Richards, the CQC head inspector, has made a great start by attracting experienced volunteer carers to help check hospitals and homes. If you know anyone who has witnessed abuse, tell them to look at Under Advice for Whistleblowers on the internet and watch this on YouTube. Remember, once you have in your possession the proof of abuse, no manager would dare bully or threaten you. Staff or family carers who follow my guidelines will be doing it legally. A small number of abusers will give the great majority of the nursing and caring profession a bad name. The NHS and CQC lawyers and the police will act on the evidence you produce. The chief executives, directors and managers have a responsibility to provide a duty of care for their patients. Whistleblowers are essential. They are caring members of staff who feel it is their duty to report serious abuse that happens to vulnerable patients. When managements fail to investigate reported abuse by failing to use their legal powers to use selective CCTV and the abuse continues, I will advise and support all whistleblowers to get the evidence by selective CCTV and secret filming that will stand up in a court of law. Without this proof, the serious abuse will just continue. Providing the proof will save the taxpayers millions and have the abusers punished. As a governor, I have found staff agree that providing the evidence on film would help to protect them from discrimination and help to stop the abuse. Then the managers, CQC, must act and save the situation dragging on for years. Staff know rarely, if ever, use selective CCTV when complaints of serious abuse are made. This only benefits the abusers. I hope you will find this video helpful. If you know anyone who witnessed abuse, please tell them to view this video under Advice for Whistleblowers. A big thank you to Panorama producers for filming and highlighting abuse programmes like those in Bristol and Croydon, and the tabloids for their coverage. I believe camera technology used in evidence will, with your help, drive criminal abuse out of the NHS, private and council care homes. I will send a copy of this DVD to Professor Sir Mike Richards, head of the Care Quality Commission, and other interested parties to seek maximum publicity for whistleblowers. I will also inform the media, including National MENCAP and Carers UK, who are linked to my website, Nationwide Carers. If Panorama can do it, so can you. We will drive abusers out of the caring profession. Thank you for watching this evidence that fully supports whistleblowers who highlight abuse.